So motion is allowed. Your client is joined as an interested party.
Much obliged.
Let's move to the next stage. We have the motion by the respondent, the applicants, dated 13th of February, right?
Yes, my lord.
Yes. Now, what is the way forward?
And be guided by the court.
There are a number of issues raised in that motion, right?
Yes, my lord.
There are a number of issues raised in the petition.
Yes, my lord.
Can we hear all of them in the motion?
They cannot all be addressed in the motion.
Yes, so we want to see which issues we want to deal with in the motion, so that we do not deal with the petition by way of the motion. That would be my view.
My lord, I was also going to say that given the joiner of the interested party and the kind of data they seem to have in their possession and which they are ready to present to this court, then I would abandon the prayer seeking the IBC to publish that similar data at the intellectual stage and urge the court.
So you're abandoning which prayer?
And that says that pending, supposed to be prayer 2, Roman 1. I think there was a typo in the numbering. Maybe if we could, the number could be prayer 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 prayers, but the numbering is the Roman 1. It reads that pending the inter-parties hearing and determination of this application and not the petition hearing, the Honorable Court will please to issue an order compelling the ITC and the Directorate of Immigration and Registration of Persons to publish accurate voter registration status reports indicating how many Kenyans are 18 years and above and are eligible to vote nationwide, how many Kenyans are eligible to vote in each constituency or county, how many have registered to vote per constituency or county, how many eligible but unregistered persons per constituency or county have been issued IDs, how many eligible but unregistered persons per constituency or county have not been issued IDs. So if I look at the data annexed to the motion, and for purposes of fast-tracking the hearing of this application, I would request that that prayer be abandoned. And
that prayer is in the petition.
It was in the petition. It could be addressed in the petition, or we abandon it at this stage. We address it in the petition, and we simply address the other prayer. We simply deal with the other prayers, especially prayer number 2.
Because I want us to take directions on which aspect of the motion we are dealing with, and leave everything else for the petition.
Yeah, so I was requesting we do look at prayer number 2. Of the motion and deal with it exhaustively, my lord. That would be my suggestion.
Yes. So your view is now we only deal with prayer 2 of the motion.
Of the motion, yes, my lord. I'm sorry, my lord, I'm on my feet again. In the alternative, if the orders were confirmed for whatever period, then I would abandon the application and we simply go to dispose of the petition expeditiously. given the circumstances.
How will they be confirmed without being heard? They are here.
Yeah, they could concede.
Yes.
And we move, my lord.
Mr. Kumbo,
Yes, my lord.
Mr. Sembo, have you had a chance to put your heads together?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Frankly, we've not had a chance.
Because this is an issue that is not an easy one to decide immediately. It goes into people's rights. We have to investigate and find out where and who went wrong where. Right? So, what do you say of prayer 2?
My lord, in fact, our position is that it's perhaps a fairly simple issue to deal with. We could be open to the, dealing with that prayer number 2 before you this morning, get it over and done with. An ideal situation, however, my lord, would have been that because these issues are interrelated, in fact, the more substantive issues that you need to be dealing with are contained in the petition. Because that's where we have prayers urging certain findings about constitutionality or otherwise certain legal provisions. If we could collapse this application into the main petition, then you can give us a date on a priority or a time allocation on priority. Then we deal with the petition once and for all.
In that case, what happens to the orders? I have no
Yes.
problem with that.
Yes.
Because that is where the issue is.
Yes, my lord.
Whether we extend the time for registration or not is not
Yes.
the issue.
Yes.
The issue is in the petition.
Yes.
And that is why we don't want to waste a lot of our energy dealing with one item of extending period.
Yes.
That's an issue that you seated here can agree on.
Yes.
Then we deal with the petition, because that is where the substance is.
Yes.
It's not in the... If you look at it, we are dealing with a mirage,
Yes.
leaving the substance of the issue in the petition.
In fact, my lord, our position is that that order, or the application, even prayer number 2, as it were, has already been spent, given the orders, the manner in which it has been framed, and the orders that you gave. That order in our minds has been framed, and we'll be seeking to demonstrate why it has been spent. But perhaps on a more fundamental note, we would say that the application and the petition perhaps is, to use your words, a mirage based on a misconception of the operations of decisions of the IEBC by the petitioner. The simple reason being, my lord, there's never been any communication anywhere where the IEBC have indicated that they have stopped voter registration. And it is important, my lord, for purposes of clarity, to understand that what has been stopped or what has come to an end is the mass voter registration.
That's what the application seeks,
Yes.
if I got it right.
No. There's a bit of a confusion in that regard, and that is why it is important both for the court, the public, and even the parties to be able to appreciate that link. The issue about mass voter registration, if you permit me.
No, we are not hearing.
Yes.
I was seeking the way you want to proceed.
Yes.
We are agreeing it may not be plausible to proceed with the motion the way it is, because the substance is in the petition.
Yes.
But however, there are orders being sought,
Yes.
there are orders that were given,
Yes.
we must deal with that aspect.
Yes.
So, that is the point I want us to deal with, because today we can only deal with whether to extend the period for registration or not. Because the other issues, who has the right to vote, who has the right to register, which documents to use, those are the issues that are in the petition.
Yes, and that too, it's for that very reason, my lord, that I'm saying that for us to be able to deal with the issue of extension, you need to address or perhaps satisfy yourself first that there's been, in fact, a stoppage. No one is complaining that it's been stopped from registering. In fact, if you looked at the law, it says the question about continuous registration of voters, yeah, is a continuous, just like the one it says, is a continuous exercise. The first respondent has not, at any one point in time, say that they have stopped the continuous voter registration. And so that it is important to draw a distinction between that and the exercise that has been stopped. One needs to understand that the mass voter registration drive is not a legislative requirement. It is not a constitutional requirement. it is in fact a policy position taken by IEBC, and so therefore the court order cannot extend into it. So if we have that understanding, and really it is more of a zero-sum argument, if my colleagues will insist on it, our position then would be we collapse the application into the petition and proceed on that premise, for as long as, again, we take caution of the fact that there is a very thin window within which to have all these issues determined, so that if we are to go that direction, then perhaps by next week we should be able to deal with this petition and determine it in its entirety.
Yes,
I
Mr.
don't know if I'm
Asembo.
clear, if there's anything.
I get you, Mr. Asembo.
My Lord, hearing very well my brother, Mr. Gumbo. It is easy to interpret from him that the issue of voter registration is ongoing. Could you now take it for the record that then they are not opposed to such an order? Because the order was actually allowing that registration to be carried on.
I leave you at that. Mr. Mutinda, you have been quiet for a while.
Yes, my lord, and as I indicated to the court earlier, is that these matters are a bit urgent. They affect the timelines towards the general elections, and specifically the prayer number 2 which we are dealing with. I want to concur with my learned colleague for the IEBC that we are in a position to demonstrate to the court that the issues here, what has been stopped is not what is contemplated to be stopped. In that, there's a difference between the continuous voter registration and the mass voter registration which is ongoing currently. So that is the distinction we want to draw to the court.
So you are ready to take on the motion in that manner?
Yes, to the extent of prayer number 2.
Omutata, that's still okay with you?
Yeah, still okay with me. Only that I'm saying that whereas the mass voter registration is an administrative action of the IEBC, administrative action, my lord, is governed by Article 47 of the Constitution. And we will be able to demonstrate that reading Article 47 of the Constitution and Article 38, 3A of the Constitution, and the Articles 81 and 82 of the Constitution, that mass voter registration has resulted in disenfranchisement of vast populations of the country because of how it was conducted. And therefore, to cure those imbalances that have been created in the voter register, there is need for that particular exercise to be extended and to be carried out in a proper manner, whereby the ICC is not an instrument for voter suppression, but an independent organ for supervising elections. And so, that violation of the right to fair administrative action is the one we shall be urging in requesting that mass voter registration exercise, much as it is an administrative action, it has been carried away in a manner that has violated rights, and it must be continued so that those rights that have been violated can be corrected. That's what we shall be adding the court in our submission.
In the motion?
Yes.
Any other part with a view?
But Marina Mosa, we are losing the earlier suggestion we had made that maybe we caucus and come back here, where we said we could consult and see, maybe it could also help the court. There's a suggestion we had made earlier.
You don't seem to buy it.
No, me, I'm open to it, my lord. I was just responding to submissions, but I'm open to that.
We're equally open to it. You don't have a thing.
How much time do you need?
Just about 10 minutes.
What I want you to do is, this is an exercise that is going on. There are people who want to register. They may have